Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today's video is all about dealing with spring temperature fluctuations. Set your expectations realistically. It's still early March. In North Carolina, Zone 7, we can easily continue to have freezing temperatures into the 3rd and even 4th weeks of April. So when I say it's too early for your summer crops like sweet potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, it's too early, okay? Just take my advice on this. It's too early. Not only is the air temperature too cold, but the soil temperature is way too cold. Those plants will not produce, they will not grow until the soil temperature is significantly warmer. So resist the urge to skip spring. I know it's hard. I just went to Lowe's and they had tons of plants that are absolutely going to die with this weekend's forecast. I'm super aggravated by it. I want the industry to do better than it does, but this is just how it is. And I'm hoping that you'll heed my warnings because I'm wanting to steer you on a path of success. So we're here at Lowe's because we need to pick out a kitchen faucet, but I wanted to show you some of this is fine, but mixed in with the cool season stuff, they have tender plants like peppers and tomatoes. So unfortunately, you can't just rely on the stores to be supplying you the plants at the right time of year. In Central North Carolina, you absolutely should not be buying tomatoes and peppers yet. The ground is way too cold and we are still gonna have a lot of frost. So there's absolutely no reason that they should be selling tomatoes and peppers in the middle of March. And it's really discouraging and annoying as a horticulture professional to constantly have to see bad practices being done at mass merchants. I'm really aggravated by this. I can tell. I mean, look, you might as well just throw $20 into the garbage disposal. Like, it's not time for tomatoes yet. Why are they selling these? It's so annoying. Oh my gosh, and they've come out of a greenhouse, so they're like really not acclimated. You can see they've already had to like cut stuff off because they were already damaged. And with 22 degrees in the forecast, these die at 33 degrees. So, you know, just golly, just wait. This is the only rack of plants that makes sense. These are cool season vegetables, and now is the time to be planting these. And they've got really nice selection. Like, overall, it's not that they don't have nice plants. They do. They just are not very thoughtful about what they sell when. These are the plants you should be buying. Collards, kale, celery, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, cabbage, broccoli. This is the section that they should have out there, not $20 tomatoes that are gonna die in 2 nights. And more stuff that isn't gonna make it. It's not time for geraniums, y'all. These are not frost hardy at all. So if you're gonna spend $20, make sure you don't put them outside. It just doesn't make sense. Heed my warnings. Because I'm wanting to steer you on a path of success, not failure and not disappointment. So I hope that you will enjoy today's video, even though it's not my favorite subject. It is a topic that we can all relate to. Now, one thing I am doing is getting my heated shed loaded back up. I took a lot of plants out of here 2 weeks ago when I saw the frost-free forecast, and I'm so glad I resisted taking all of these succulents out, and that is entirely from experience. I have been managing tender plants for a really long time, and I know better than to try and trust the weather of March and even April. So a lot less work has to be done because for the most part, I kept everything in here other than a handful of plants that really just needed some additional water and you know, certainly benefited from the recent warm temperatures that we've been experiencing. It's easy enough to just bring those pots back in at least through the weekend. And this time of year, you really have to pay attention to your weather forecasts. So as you can see, I've got the tender plants popped back in. Definitely don't have access to the refrigerator. Just probably good for our waistlines to have less access to the beer that's in there. These will stay in at least through the weekend. Then we'll look at what next week's forecast is. So first, let's just talk about the reality of whether your plants are hardened off enough to be able to withstand the cold. And yeah, in general, if they've been outside all winter, like all of these plants have, I don't have to worry about these. They're gonna be fine. They don't need to be covered. These are all, you know, cool season annuals that can absolutely tolerate temperatures down really into the low teens. However, if you jumped the gun and bought tomatoes or peppers, those absolutely can't be outside. In fact, even a day like today is too cold for summer vegetables. Here's the thing, it's March. Stop skipping spring. You do not need to have summer vegetables in the middle of March. That is just being stupid. And I don't care if the garden centers are selling them, that doesn't mean you have to buy them. You've got to think more logically about this, and here in central North Carolina, it's really not warm enough to put your summer vegetables in the garden until at least the middle of May because the soil temperature is too cold. So, my first advice to you is stop skipping spring. Plant more broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, Swiss chard, cilantro, whatever. All of those things can take these temperature fluctuations and hold your horses on the summer stuff that has to be, you know, planted when it's really warm and totally frost-free. It's never going to be easy if you start tomatoes this early in the season. So be sure to just weigh the pros and cons. My best advice is trying to let nature take its course, but be logical and don't skip the spring season by jumping ahead to tender plants that are best grown in the summer, which are frost-free months. Well, I hope your garden comes out the other side of this cold snap without much damage. Happy gardening, everybody, and thanks for watching.